Okay. Hi, Belinda.
Hey, hi, Alicia.
Hi. I'm so excited to have Belinda Jackson joining us today to talk to us about the work that she does, but also to share some kind of preparation work for next week's vision board session that we're going to be doing with Reformed on February 6th. So thank you, Belinda, for joining us. If we
Thanks
can,
for having me.
yay. I'd love to start off by hearing just a little bit about what got you into this world of graphic facilitation.
Well, I started out as a young kid always playing with pencils, markers, paints, always into art all through school. Thought I would become an art teacher. That didn't happen. I became an elementary school teacher. And it wasn't until I started working at a university and we had this really complex project with multiple stakeholders, and PowerPoint, Word docs, flip charts were not cutting it. So I actually saw a video recording of a talk and researched and went to a workshop on graphic recording and facilitation, and that was 2005. And I've kind of been playing around with it in different ways in my work, with the ministry that I am a member of and other community events since then. So it's been great. I love markers. I love sticky notes. If I showed you my office now, you'd just see sticky notes.
I love it.
We streamlined it for today.
Yay. Okay, perfect. Well, I love that you've been able to also kind of translate this skill into helping people through the process of thinking through their vision. So why don't you first tell us a little bit about how spending time developing your vision can help a person attain the goals that they want to reach?
Sure. When I first started using graphic facilitation, I was introduced to templates, and it might be capturing a visual concept like going on a journey or climbing a mountain. So you're thinking about something difficult or challenging that you want to achieve and how you're going to get there. So using a vision board or a template or other visual tools can really be powerful in just helping you reflect, helping you focus, and then helping you set goals and think more strategically about action. How am I actually going to achieve that goal?
Sure.
So when we have the event next week, we'll be looking at how using some reflection, thinking about ideally where do you want to be in the next year, what do you want to accomplish, how do you want to feel in your work or in your family, which I started mapping out up here. Mm-hmm. And then thinking more deeply about, in order to accomplish that, what are the smaller steps you have to take? What are some potential challenges you're going to come up against? And many of us have tried to achieve goals in the past. So what's going to make it different this year? So you can actually accomplish that goal.
Gotcha. Okay. And so, I think the term vision board is sort of popular these days, particularly this time of the year. It's still kind of the beginning of a new calendar year. So I think different people have different views of what that looks like. But for you, what is a vision board, or what is this process? Maybe vision board isn't even the right term to be using, and what you tend to support people with.
A traditional vision board is usually a visual representation of your goal, or you're envisioning your future, what you want to accomplish or have or experience. And it's taking images, different materials to capture a mood, a feeling, specific items or objects that represent something that you want to achieve or experience or share with someone else. Sometimes finding magazine clippings, keywords that jump out, quotes that jump out to you, and putting it in a place that's prominent so it can keep you inspired and motivated to achieve that goal. When I think of vision boards from my graphic facilitation background, I think more of process, reflection, how you're capturing that so that that vision or that vision board can actually come to pass. And so I tend to look at it as a great inspiration, but let's get a little deeper so you actually can have a strategy or a next step so you can accomplish that goal.
Gotcha. Okay, great. So how do you think then that vision boarding is uniquely helpful in helping a person go from that vision to that reality?
I think one, it's great to step out of where you are and think beyond, which many of us have trouble with. If you're a very practical person and you're like, well, it's going to take, you focus too much on tasks and specific tasks you need to do versus how you want to feel, or what do you want to accomplish because it aligns with your passion, something you feel called to do. And let that drive the big picture and then go back into the details. So it can really be great in helping you look at details and then kind of zoom back out and look at the big picture and then go back, in and out, looking at both ways. If you have a quote, that can be really helpful too. But visuals can also be inspiring because they're triggering different parts of your brain, and can just help you have that motivation, inspiration to see it and say, I can actually visualize myself in this place. Okay. So that can be really powerful. And I think when you combine that with thinking more specifically how you're going to accomplish it, or who do you need, what information do you need, or what do you need to leave behind that's going to hinder you from actually accomplishing that. We tend to know those things very quickly, but we aren't the best at figuring out how to overcome those challenges. So I think it's a great jumping off point to think big picture, visualize your ideal of success for you, for your family life, whether it's spiritual, whether it's professional, career, or it could be something else like a business idea or a community service idea, project that you've always wanted to do, and you actually visualize that happening for you before you get into 2018. So thinking through that big picture and setting goals can be really powerful. But I think it's the balance of the two, the big vision and the steps to get there, that makes it actionable. And I think that's my passion in helping people really understand that you can think beyond where you are now, because, there's a vast realm of things you could be doing, and you can have your highest and best use and your passion and your calling all jumbled up into one, which can be great. But you really do have to do the thinking about what would hinder you from getting there so you can accomplish and come up with strategies so that those big obstacles are getting smaller and smaller and you're seeing yourself moving forward.
Oh, good. So it's helping you really distill it and break it down.
Yes.
So I think some of this is intimidating for some people. And one part of the intimidation is thinking of what if I don't know what my goals are? I haven't figured out what those are. What do you tell people, particularly anybody who might be watching this, who's planning to come next week and is thinking about what they're going to do when they get there? What do you suggest to people that are struggling to understand what the goal should be?
I think the first thing you want to think about is what things bring you joy, what your passions are. Some people know those right away. Some people are better able to think about, like you and I have talked about, how do you want to feel in the future, in 2018 compared to now? Or maybe it's less about thinking about the future and reflecting on where you are now. So where are you now in your family, professional, your faith, your other, career opportunities or ideas for businesses? Do you want to stay where you are now? Do you want to see yourself exactly in the same place next year? I'm sure most people would say, no, I don't. And then you can start to think about, well, what you want to be different? So it doesn't have to be, I have a business startup concept idea and I'm coming to the workshop with that. It's just a place to reflect on where you are, where you want to be, and then we'll have a variety of tools depending on what is really speaking to you that you can go a little deeper. So for example, we might do a journey where you start off thinking about today. Describe where you are today when it comes to your family. Or you can just pick maybe your career and flesh out. Well, I could say, wow, I have 2 great nephews. My mom is awesome. She's aging, so there's some things I have to do for her. And then, hey, I think I do want to have my own family by the end of 2017. Or it could be professional. You're thinking more about a business concept. Like, I have a business idea that I'd like to see get at least a jump start in 2017. So that's great. I've done some reflection, but in order to get to my desired place, what am I going to need to do? Okay. Maybe I don't know what I'm going to need to do, which tells me what? That I need to do some research about maybe other people who have done what I'd like to do. Yeah. And then I learn from their experiences what I need. So it's not about finding answers to every question that you're going to ask. Okay. It's about the thinking and the reflecting and asking those questions. Okay. And then maybe you might go to a magazine, and after you've done some thinking, look to see what pictures, or maybe there's some quotes or some words or some articles that speak to you. Something just jumps out. You kind of gather those images together, and you can put that in a place in your home where it just inspires you to think more and do more. Okay. Or you might want to just, you're a person who just really loves words and writing. We have a verbal vision board option where you can think of some anchor quotes, or if you have something like a faith-based scripture or something, and your kind of affirmation about this, thinking on this and saying this to myself is going to help motivate me to be what I want to be by the end of this year or by this time next year. So we have that option where you could just do some reflection, or you could just learn about the templates and take it home and use it. Okay. And then we'll have another option where you're thinking about your ideal success, and what magazine you might be featured on if you were successful in the field or the area that you have in mind. And just starting to think about images that would represent what you would have accomplished. And it just helps for you to get a clearer picture on what you really want, because you may not have all the answers. So those are just a few examples of how you could experience the workshop next week. And to be ready for that, I would just say maybe think about things that inspire you. Reflect on where you are is one way. Just do some reflection. Take inventory of some things you really like about where you are and some things you'd like to improve. Or it could be a certain quote or something that lately has been inspiring you. You may already have pictures or images that speak to you, or one picture that speaks to you, or nature. You might just say, you know what, nature inspires me. I don't really know what about it inspires me, but I have these 2 pictures. I'm going to bring them with me. Okay. So you have lots of levels of preparation you can do, and it doesn't have to be intimidating. You don't have to be crafty. You don't have to be an illustrator. You just have to have an open mind and want to have some fun.
Great. Okay. And so then people can, well, I guess walk away from next week's workshop with different levels of things. They may complete a quote unquote vision board, or they might have the start of that and have ideas on additional research that they might want to do to add to their vision board or things like that. But they will definitely walk away with the tools to continue to work on perfecting, as it were, their vision.
And we'll have different size boards, some actual like foam boards, some small ones in different sizes, some a variety of like shapes and sticky notes, some magazines. If you have a favorite magazine, something you've been reading lately, you could bring that with you if you're willing to, perhaps cut some things up. So you may be able to get started with your board while you're there. We'll have some time dedicated to just use however you want. Some people might want to spend that time reflecting. Some people might want to just reflect as they actually pull things together. Yeah. And I'll be around to really stimulate thinking. I think that's one of the things that most of my colleagues and friends enjoy about me is just asking those questions to let's go a little deeper on that. So as everyone's comfortable, it's all about what would work for you, and we can make the experience whatever you need it to be.
Great. Oh, I'm so excited.
So no stress.
No stress. Yeah. It sounds actually very relaxing. We'll walk away having had what feels like some self-care time in a sense.
Yes.
Anything else you'd suggest to people to do to prepare? You've mentioned kind of thinking about their vision or thinking about quotes or visuals that support where their vision will go. Anything else that you'd suggest?
I
Or
would say if you actually have a business idea, a lot of my friends lately have been really thinking about, I just could see myself really developing this hobby, you know, or my side hustle, translating that into something bigger. If you have a business plan or if you have a journal that has notes, it would be great to have that with you, because maybe during the discussion or just sharing, something might, a spark. You might get a spark by reading, reviewing that, or, that might be something helpful to have with you.
Okay.
Any books you're reading lately, if there's a particular book that you've been reading that is giving you some inspiration or ideas, I would actually bring the book, because there might be something that is said or some connection you start making as you're thinking, and you're like, that is exactly what I was reading. You can actually go to it, and there might be some key words or quotes from the book that could help you in starting to flesh out what an inspiration or vision board might look like for you, or just a template or a written encouraging plan. So rethinking it from a traditional vision board to walking away with something that's going to help inspire you to accomplish your goals for the next year.
Perfect. Okay. I'm excited. I'm already thinking about what I want to work on next week. I know this isn't just about me, but I'm definitely feeling like I'm going to get a lot out of it personally myself.
Excellent. We're definitely trying to make it so that it's going to meet the needs of, there'll be something for everyone. So if you're artistic, great. If you're not, great. We've got lots of ways you can apply what we'll be talking about and kind of think through what your goals are.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. I'm very excited, Belinda. Thank you so much for giving us this explanation and giving us some ideas on what to look for and how to get prepared for next week. Any last thoughts, or should we just look forward to seeing you on next Monday night?
I would say one last thing is that we will have a handout with some resources for digital mood boards, things you might want to access online, other places where you can get some inspiration, some book titles that might be helpful, things that I've come across that have been shared with me, and also a goal-setting template that you can use moving forward for the year with whatever you identify as a personal target that you really want to focus on.
Oh, great. Okay. So for the unfortunate people who can't be with us next week, we can also share that out with them to hopefully be able to do on their own too.
Yes. So we'll have the 3 templates as well as some resources and other helpful information, along with some other goodies. If you love markers and things like that, there'll be plenty of things to explore and some of those things to take home with you.
Okay, good. So we can bring out our inner artist or aspiring artist in certain ways.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you for bringing this to the Reformed community. And again, looking forward to seeing you and others that we've probably, I think, got about 15 people or so that'll be with us doing this activity
15.
next week. So yeah, so a good number of folks that will look forward to helping to create great visions for 2017 and beyond.
Yes, and impact change in the world.
Exactly.
That's what we all want to do.
Yes, that's what we need right now, right? Thank you, thank you.
Yes.
So we'll let you get back to the rest of your day and look forward to seeing you on Monday.
All right, thanks, Alicia.
Thanks, bye-bye.